Right, guys, welcome to another World Cup team preview series. And in today's episode, we will be talking about Wales. That's right, we'll be talking about Wales in this episode. And guess what? It is the final episode of my World Cup team preview series. And so, if you like these sort of World Cup team preview videos, why not hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel? And ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my World Cup content that will be coming out over the next month as we get into the World Cup itself. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. So Wales are a part of the UEFA or the European Confederation when it comes to World Cup qualifying. And the nickname of the team is the Dragons, which is obviously from the flag, which obviously has a dragon on it. And obviously a fun fact for you about Wales is that Wales actually held, just recently obviously, Wales held a 64-year record of not appearing at a World Cup from any European team. So between the first appearance and the second appearance, there was a 64-year gap. That is the longest that any qualified team had to wait to make their next World Cup appearance. This was, I think, the third longest, and now they broke the record and finally qualified for their only second World Cup, as they only played back in 1958, where they were eliminated by Pele and Brazil in the quarterfinals in 1958. And so, yeah, Wales have appeared in one previous tournament. Hopefully, they can reach, the same quarterfinals or even beyond at this upcoming World Cup in Qatar. So Wales, throughout the World Cup qualifying, were in a group that contained Belgium, the Czech Republic, Estonia, and Belarus. And when it came all the way through the World Cup qualifying, it actually did look like Wales were able to at least get into the playoffs. And with Belgium being a very, very strong and very good team, it looked likely that Wales hoped that they can at least snatch second spot in the group, in which they did. They finished above the Czech Republic, but both teams made it to the playoffs regardless. Even with the Nations League performance, actually would have helped Wales, even if Wales finished third or fourth or even last. But Wales were able to finish second in the qualifying group and automatically made the playoffs. And then in the playoffs, Wales beat Austria 2-1 back in March, but they had to wait just a few months later to play the winner of Scotland v Ukraine. It ended up being Ukraine in June because of the war in Ukraine. And so Wales took on Ukraine in June for the final European spot for the World Cup. And unfortunately, a Yarmolenko own goal meant that Wales won the match 1-0 and thus sealing their qualification for the World Cup since 1958. And so let's see how Wales are managed. So the manager or the head coach of this Wales national team is Rob Page. He took over the job just a couple years ago or a year ago after Ryan Giggs was removed for particular reasons that I don't want to discuss. But now Rob Page is the manager of the Wales team, and he took over them throughout Euro 2020, in which they reached the round 16, and now obviously helped them reach their first World Cup in 64 years. And some of the star players of this Wales team include the likes of Gareth Bale, obviously the talisman Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey, Wayne Hennessy, Kiefer Moore, and Brennan Johnson. And so actually there's a lot of quality in this Wales team that hopefully can deliver on the world stage as well. So let's see how they line up. So the way that Wales like to play is in a 3-4-2-1 formation, in which they like to get the wing backs in order to push forward and supplement the attack. And obviously the two more advanced midfielders are the ones that also help in the attack as well. And so some of the strengths of this Wales team is their defensive solidity. Now Wales are quite compact, they play with 3 men at the back, so it does help with the defensive solidity and trying to defend, which means that it is very difficult for teams to really break them down actually. And so that might be a very, very good strength for this Wales team heading into this World Cup. And another strength of this Wales team is that X factor, that talisman in Gareth Bale. This is obviously and most likely going to be Gareth Bale's last international tournament, and obviously it will be everyone's first World Cup for the Welsh team. And so Gareth Bale would probably be motivated and try to deliver just like he did back in Euro 2016, in which he actually scored in all of the group stage games at Euro 2016. And so hopefully Gareth Bale can help Wales progress as well at this World Cup. Now, some of the weaknesses of this Wales team is the goal scoring. Wales are decent at the back, but they're not as threatening in front of goal. If a player like Gareth Bale is kind of isolated and iced out of the game, it becomes a little bit difficult for Wales to find that sort of avenue in terms of creating chances and creating a lot of opportunities where they can score a goal. And so it will be very interesting to see how teams can try to alleviate a lot of the Welsh attack and try to defend a lot more deeper in order to have Wales be a little bit more creative if they want to try to break teams down. And that's a little bit of another weakness for this Wales team, is a bit of that lack of creativity from that midfield. Obviously they can create a lot of chances from the wingers, but when it comes to the midfield, it is not the sort of best midfield in order to create a lot of progressive passes into the final third in order to supplement that sort of attack. So yes, as Wales are very good at the back, they are not as good up front, and that might be a weakness that might possibly hurt them when it comes to the tournament itself in Qatar, when teams could just sit back and hit Wales with a lot of pace at this World Cup. So let's see how their group looks. So Wales have been drawn into Group B for this upcoming World Cup, and they begin their campaign on Monday, the 21st of November, 10 p.m. local time, where Wales will be taking on the United States, the USA. So that will be a big match for Wales, as it will be their first World Cup match since losing to Brazil in 1958 in the quarterfinals. And then on Friday, the 25th of November, 1 p.m. local time in Qatar, Wales will take on Iran. On Tuesday, the 29th of November, 10 p.m. local time, Wales will be taking on England. That's right, they'll be taking on their neighbors, the big rivals England, at this upcoming World Cup. And so it will be a very big clash between two historic rivals at this World Cup, and Wales would like to take some revenge, as both Wales and England both met at Euro 2016, where Wales lost practically in the last minute against England. However, Wales eventually topped the group and England finished second, and Wales made it further than England at Euro 2016. So whether Wales want to repeat that, we don't know, but will Wales be able to progress far into this tournament and maybe, who knows, might beat England in order to progress and knock England out potentially from this World Cup. And so, could Wales be able to knock England out of the World Cup in the final day of their group stage campaign? Well, and also make it far into this World Cup just like they did at Euro 2016? Well, time will tell. Right guys, so I filmed the outro for the Wales video, but there's so much terrible lag. I don't know why that's the case sometimes. But I hope you guys really enjoyed my World Cup team preview series. And obviously I am so happy that I actually got to complete this series. And I would like to thank everyone that has watched my videos, and obviously you guys are excited for the World Cup. Obviously, I've made my announcement on what I'm planning to do for the World Cup on Sunday. So obviously now I get to let you guys know that yes, I will be having a +1. All of these sort of things will be on a live stream
my World Cup podcast, and the live watch alongs. And the next video I will have with me on it will be on the 15th of November, Tuesday, and I'll be talking about some fun facts about the World Cup. And then on Thursday, the 17th of November, I will be talking about my final and official World Cup 2022 predictions, who's going to win, and all that sort of stuff. And on Saturday, the 19th of November, is the start of my podcast, the World Cup watch-alongs, and all those sort of fun stuff. And so, again, I would like to thank you guys so much for all of your support on my World Cup team preview series. I'm so happy that it's actually done. So if you also want to support the channel and all that, obviously do give this video a like and subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my World Cup content that will be coming out over the next week and over the next month as well. And until then, I will see you guys, well, in the next one.